All right, hi everybody. I apologize for this lecture getting out late. There's a few things that came up this week that made it hard for me to get it out on time. But here we go. Today we're going to talk about requests for proposals. Now, the reason this is important is because it's going to tie into your final project, where I'm going to give you 3 RFPs to choose from, and then you give me back a marketing proposal or a bid back for those RFPs. I'm working on those today, so I'll have those posted by today so you can get started on your final as soon as possible. That being said, let's go into request for proposal, what it's all about. So first, an overview. So for a lot of people that aren't in the marketing world, a proposal might mean a totally different thing. But those in the marketing world, we know what an RFP is, and we're going to get that to be to where you know what an RFP is as well. So this quick lecture is going to go into what an RFP is used for, why are they used, and how they are created. So what's an RFP? Well, companies usually issue an RFP or request for proposal when choosing a vendor or service provider to work with. The document that they put together, it can be one page, it can be multiple pages, outlines specifics such as scope of work and ask potential vendors to come back with a bid for the work. Multiple bids then come back, and then your team gets together and decides which is the best choice for who you're going to use as your vendor. So this could be anything from website services to project-based stuff. A lot of it's digital, a lot of it's nonprofit. Cities do this a lot for proposals, but it's fairly common in the world and exists in different verticals. So there's a little bit of difference between each kind of RFP depending on what industry you're in. Styles and formats. So like I was saying before, there is a lot of different types of RFPs depending on what industry you're in. Some stylistic considerations that you may want to look at is long form versus short form. Of course, that's going to depend on how in-depth your project is, and then should you utilize graphics or just go plain text. Now, going plain text is going to be more in your city services, municipal type of world, nonprofits, that type of thing. Graphics is going to be your media environment, your digital advertising, that kind of world. We respond to different things. So what's included in your RFP? What's the nuts and bolts of the thing? Well, I broke it down into 3 kind of general things that you're going to worry about in your RFPs: the company, who's writing the proposal, the project that's being solved, and then the vendor who's receiving the proposal. So on the company side, you're going to give them your company background. You're going to talk about budget constraints, culture, brand, stuff that they need to know, things they need to know about your company, that when they actually make what you're asking them to do or working on your project, they can insert and inject your personal touch into it. So you always want to go with someone that's familiar with your industry or is familiar with your product, one of the two. The project itself, you're going to talk about the project overview, the goals of the project, the scope of the project, all the things concerned with what your problem is and the solution that you're proposing. Or maybe they're trying to find the solution for you. Finally, vendor, the person getting the proposal, you want to talk about their deliverability, the target, when's this thing due? Possible roadblocks, stuff that's in their blind spots that they otherwise wouldn't know. What does the ideal vendor look like? Like I said before, have they worked in this industry before? And then, of course, submission deadlines and any questions that they might have for you. So workflow of an RFP goes very quickly and very easily. You create the RFP with your team, you put together, you ask each department kind of with their input, hopefully. You share that. There's a few different ways you can share RFPs. Some companies already have mailing lists with all the type of people in the industry that they use. They have those relationships for years. There's also portals online where companies can actually post their RFPs and they can interact with the vendors that way. And that's basically 2 main ways you're going to get an RFP out. Kind of like a press release. It works the same way. So you share them, give them, they figure it out. You come back with proposals. Your team will look at that. Then from there, you negotiate with the vendors. And once you're done negotiating, you can either do another round of like a secondary RFP to kind of change the terms and conditions, or you go with the person you want and you hire them. So recap, why use an RFP? Well, it gets things done. You'll be able to communicate your project and vision to multiple contractors at once. It enables you to basically streamline the process and find the best kind of help and vendors that you can get in the fastest amount of time. So that being said, be prepared to get the rest of the finals material tomorrow. I'll have an RFP up today, and then I need you to put in your final proposal. I said Sunday, but let's make that Wednesday. So you have a few days to decide who you want to use. It's an easy 100 points. Just go on the board and tell me who you're going to actually use. Other than that, enjoy your weekend.